Alrighty, welcome back everybody to the 16th week of our algorithmic programming course where we're tackling a new problem every single week. Today we have reached the 4-month mark of our algorithm programming course. Crazy to think about where we began and now where we are heading towards. Last week we just wrapped up our recursion unit that had a bunch of different problems, looking at how we can advance our programming skills with that. And this week we're sort of going to be more applying our skills, looking at how far we come, sort of capstoning that. But as always, guys, thank you so much for coming out here today, despite us being a little bit later, but good to see the crowd still showing up. So first things first, you know how we gotta get started. Chase already mentioned it, our usual code wars, or should I say meme wars. Guys, you guys know who I'm, Rhapsody Kid, Code Senior High School. And today my meme is this: a computer science major who goes to college. What my friends think I do, they think I'm some type of serial hacker. My mom thinks I'm making the internet somehow. Society thinks we're making the new iPhone. Our college professors are going to think that we're doing something else with code. What I think I do, and then what I actually do, the most important one right there in the bottom right, we Google. You guys have seen it countless times when we're working on our projects in product development. Live debugging is a part of the game, right? We're always Googling up how we can, if we run into an error, Google it. If we don't know how to do something, Google it. Google it has literally become a verb. And when you're going to be learning more about computer science, computer programming, Google it is literally your best friend. So that's something which you guys will come to learn more about, but Google is awesome.
And for my quote or meme, here it's a 4x4. Hey, are you sleeping? A brain asks us. Yeah. Shut up. And right after, your brain is like, I know how to fix that one bug on line 255. And that's when your eyes open and you don't know how to sleep, and you go to your computer and fix that line, even if it's 2 a.m. in the morning. And personally, I've experienced this several times, and I believe that all programmers do. Rayon, if you want to agree with that.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's like in the most randomest moments too, like you're taking a shower or something, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, I know how to fix that. And then you go outside and then you forget sometimes too. Like you thought you had it and then you forget. So 100% agree. Alrighty, so let's hear it in the chat. You guys usually have a lot to say. If not, I guess we had a draw today. Never forget the code, Chase. Chase, that's your quote. Oh, is that a homophone? Never forget the quote, never forget the code. Sort of? I don't know. Alrighty, well, what is it?
Are there no votes today for best meme? Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Rion wins by default.
Nobody else showed up for voting. Well, we'll keep on hearing it in the chat, but now let's get to today's agenda, which is, before we get there, a quick recap of what's going to be happening till the end of this month of May. Crazy to think about, today's May 3rd, and we're going to be wrapping up our courses we've been going at for the past 4 months. That, of course, algorithm programming every Wednesday, guys. We got 4 more, including this Monday, tackling more problems, refining our Python skills, product development. We start our new project with the population simulation last Wednesday. We're going to keep on making some way with that this Wednesday as well, finishing that up by the end of May. And then video gaming hour, we got 1 this Friday and then 1 more 2 weeks after. And these are our 3 programs for this month. There is no Hack Central. And then stay tuned for June. We'll be starting up some new programs, new programming concepts, much more fun stuff to come about. So stay tuned for that as well.
And for what we're gonna do today, today is a special day because we are going to try to apply what we've learned, what we've done together in class into your own problem. It's gonna be an independent problem day where we discuss the problem, talk out the solution only in terms of math or words, but you code it. Now this may sound daunting, but we have come a long way, and we believe in you guys. We know that the code, the syntax is in there in your brains, and you can apply that.
Exactly. So this is going to be sort of, guys, our sort of method of, I guess, our focus for the next couple of weeks is, you guys, we've done, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 problems together, so many. And now it's going to be sort of less reliance on me and Lavdi and sort of more building your own confidence. We're obviously going to be here, but the next couple of weeks, we're going to start out basic today, and keep on building our ways up until, who knows, by the last week, you guys will be doing a recursion problem by yourself. So that's the goal, right? So, but today we also got to have a foundation, and the foundation today is going to be starting off with, I got 2 problems listed here. We'll try to get to one first, and then if you got time, we can go to the second one. But they're both involving this idea of conversion and some math. The first problem is we are going to ask the user for some type of input, and we want to convert the number of days which the user inputs. To say they input 10 days, and we want to convert the number of days to the amount of seconds which have elapsed. So for example, if a person inputs 2 days, we want to be outputted with the number of seconds which are in 2 days. So at the end, we'll take a look at the math involving that, but that is the first problem. And then, like I said, if we have time for the second problem, we are going to convert our age, so say you're 15 years old, to the amount of days old you are. So your age times looking at how many days are in a year, and then multiplying that by doing some math with that. So we'll see how that works out at the end. But these are today's problems, and let's do a recap of what we will need to make these.
So this part will be really important today because today we won't be there to actually write down the syntax. You guys will have to do it in your own replit. So make sure you pay attention here so you guys know what we're gonna be using and use that as a hint when you're coding. So of course, variables. Now we keep repeating every time that we use variables, but we're trying to make a point that variables are, you set a variable x equal to either a number or a string or a list or array. Does anyone know what we're going to be using today? What we're going to be setting in that variable? Will it be a string, an array, or a number? Should be a pretty simple question. Are we here today?
You should, Avish, are you guys on a Discord call?
No, like they aren't, because I would know. They tried to start one though.
Hint, hint, it's written on the screen.
An integer?
Yeah, so a number, basically. Yeah, integer. Because we're going to be transforming those days into, the year into days and so on. It's all numbers, not strings, of course. And the next thing?
Yep, and exactly, guys, like we've done before, to hold all the code necessary to convert the number of days into the number of seconds, we're going to need a function. We'll make one function, we'll call it at the end, and this will be responsible for holding all of the computing of our the number of days into seconds. So speaking of all that computation, how about we do a couple of quick exercises and look at the math behind how we can achieve today's results.
Yep. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Cool. So, what was the first question that we had? Convert days into seconds. So in order to convert a day into a second, what are the different, steps that we have to take? First, we have to convert days into hours. And then what's next? Hours into how many, what are in an hour? Here, let me write it that way. So number of hours in a day. Let's go even further. Number of days, not says, of days in a year. So what's smaller than an hour? How many, I'll do this, of minutes in an hour. And finally, how many number of seconds in a minute. So in order to actually calculate how many seconds are in a year or how many seconds are in a day, we have to first calculate how many seconds there are in a minute, how many minutes are in an hour, how many hours are in a day, and how many days are in a year. So who can tell me how many days are in a year? This should be easy, guys. Just shout it out.
365.
Cool.
Okay, I just looked up how many seconds there are.
Okay, let's do it the coding way today. How many hours in a day?
There are 24.
Cool. Minutes in an hour?
60.
And seconds in a minute? Also 60. So Rayan hinted at what we're supposed to do to actually calculate the number of seconds in days. So what do you guys remember? How do we convert seconds into a year? What do we do with these numbers? It's a math operation. $60. Do something. 60. Do we add it? Do we divide it? Do we multiply it? 24.
Guys, so let's do an example. Say we want to convert 5 days, right? If we like write it out, we have 5 days, then we gotta start doing some dimensional analysis and start converting that, right? So we got to cancel out the days, right, from the numerator and denominator. So how would we go about that? Are we like multiplying? Are we dividing? What's gonna?
Try to draw that.
Yeah.
So like, do you put in like a certain amount of like time and then it converts it into certain like other units of time?
So let's start small. I can understand how this can be really
Yeah, because then you only have to like divide or multiply by like those numbers.
Yeah. Let me get my mouse so I can draw. Let me turn this off. Okay, cool. We got 5 days. Actually, instead of days, let's just do 5 minutes and turn that into seconds. Let's do 5 minutes. If we want to turn 5 minutes into a second or into seconds, we just multiply how many seconds there are. So there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. And this is a foreshadowing or precursor to what you guys will learn in your sophomore year, maybe freshman year if you're really smart, in chemistry class. But this is called dimensional analysis, where I just made an equation to turn 5 minutes into some seconds. And basically, what happens if you divide something by itself? It crosses out. So the minutes cross out, and you end up multiplying 5 times 60. What is 5 times 60, my dudes?
300.
Nice. So finally, we get the answer 300. Now, what about the units? Now, these minutes, both of them got crossed out. So the only units that we have left are the seconds. So that just comes over here. That's and we get 300 seconds in 5 minutes. So that was easy, right? Anyone got any questions? Or do we want to turn this up a notch? We ready to turn it up? Yeah?
No, never.
Okay, thanks for saying yes, everyone. Oh, oops, okay. Oh, I guess I just, oh well. Let's start. We had 5 minutes. Now let's just turn it up to 5 days. How's that? So if we want to turn 5 days into seconds, we start with 5 days. I'm just gonna say D for now, over 1. Multiply, what's the next step after a day? There are how many hours in a day? 24 hours in a day. So 24 hours, divide that by 1 day. Times how many minutes in an hour? 60 minutes.
So wait, I have a question. If we're doing it, will the user be able to change between like the first unit And is it always being converted into seconds?
So it's based on what type of a code, of what type of code you write. The ideal way to do it would be to create different functions. Remember that we said that you will need to use functions. So a single function would convert days into hours, and then another function would convert hours into minutes, and another function would convert minutes into
So
seconds.
there would be like 16 different functions.
There wouldn't be 16 because we just have days to hours, hours to minutes. Wait, yeah, hours to minutes and minutes to seconds.
Yeah, because there would be 4 functions for each of them, right?
Each of what?
Oh, actually, wait, there would be 12 functions because there would be 3 functions for each of them. Right.
Wait, for each of what?
Each of the units. So first it would be like for years you can convert years into days, hours, minutes and seconds. So wait, it is 16.
So
years into days, hours, minutes and seconds.
So function 1 will convert years.
Years to days.
Days.
And
will convert
years to minutes.
You just use this function in the other function. So
so we just do it to the adjacent unit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one converts days to what is it? Hours. Function, that's function 2. Function 3 will convert hours to minutes. And finally, function 4 will convert minutes to seconds. Okay, so back to, let's just finish this problem that we were doing. So we got from days to 5 days, 24 hours in a day, 60 minutes in an hour, and finally 60 seconds in 1 minute. And this is where the magic happens. Basically what you do is you cross off these units. So what's left is just 5 times 24 times 60 times 60 again. And does anyone have a calculator in hand? If not, just open up my calculator that I just used in our test. But 5 times 24 times 60 times 60, that's going to be, I'm just going to type this, 432,000 seconds in 5 days. So this is our goal to be able to do in our code. And again, these are the functions that we use. Function 1, years to days. Function 2, days to hours. Function 3, hours to minutes. And function 4, minutes to seconds. And again, the one thing that we use is multiplication, because if we want to convert those days into hours, there are 24 hours. So just multiply 1 day, or however many days are passed into that function, into hours by multiplying by 24. Are we good? Rayan, do you want to add anything?
No, that's the main thing. The main thing is, guys, don't overcomplicate this problem. It's the code you have to write. A hint is very minimal. There's not that much code. Look at what a lot of you just gone over. The multiplication is going to be important. Remember how we divided it up. Our steps are going to be, we got to get the user input of how many days they want to convert. And then we got to do the math in order to actually convert the days into seconds. And then lastly, we can print out the number of seconds there are. So keep those 3 steps in mind. And we'll take the next 10 to 15 minutes, give you guys 10 minutes to do it. And then we'll go over our solution. And if you guys want to share your solution too.
Yeah, and in the meantime, in those 15 minutes, we don't have to stay silent. We can discuss. You can ask us, ask each other.
So head on over to Replit. You guys probably want to go there and then create your own Replit so that you can start coding. And let us know if you have any questions.
I don't make any headway.
Well, remember, the 3 main steps, we gotta, number 1, get the user input. Number 2, we wanna do the multiplication to convert the days into seconds. And then number 3, just print out the seconds. And remember, all of this should be in a function we can do. So def, we can say compute, and then all the code should go within here. Joe had a break, so he will not be here for the rest of the period.
So we're basically making a calculator almost, or converting it, right?
Very watered down calculator to convert the days to seconds, yes.
Rather a converter.
And guys, as you're going through this, please do let us know if you have any questions, any elaborations, so that you guys can start doing this by yourself more. All right, so we'll take the next, we'll reconvene here at 6:10-ish. Until then, I will pause the recording so it doesn't get too long, but unmute if you guys have any questions. Let's start reconvening. Anybody want to share anything they got so far? Doesn't have to be a complete solution. Chase, Ayush, Avanish, anybody want to share anything?
I was doing my functions. So I have like the day to hour function, hour to minute function, and minute to second function. And I was just like finishing off like those functions and starting on the input.
Good, all right.
That's as far as I got. That was one of the. That's one of the ones I just did it just as a joke, and then there was another one that I had started before, and I was trying to.
Okay, getting started with the initial print statements. So I think we're still overcomplicating the whole thing with the functions, all that.
The second one I made a big effort on, and all I could figure out was how to get the if and else to work.
All right, well, it's good that we're trying. That's the main goal. Let's take a look. I think you guys might be a bit surprised to how little code was actually needed. I think we're overcomplicating this as a whole. So let's take a look at what our solution consisted of. So remember, the function we had is compute. The first things first, we got to get the user input. That's saying how many days.
Yeah, I got that down.
Yep. So we want to get the user input and we want to convert it to an integer because we're going to be doing some math and multiplying, right? And then all we had to do in order to actually convert it is just do the calculation, which a lot of you is showing on the whiteboard. First, we got to convert the number of days from the days to hours, then the hours to minutes, and the minutes, and lastly, to the seconds. So in order to do that, we just had to multiply by 24, then 60, then 60 once again. And once we do that, we can do anything we want. So how many days do we want to convert? Say we do 15 days. That's 120, that's 1.2 million seconds, right? So let's say 15 days, 2 seconds, and we get 1.296 times 10 to the negative 10 to the 6, right? And that's what the answer is. So the main thing today was just realizing how, although the problem, I guess, came out a bit more complicated, when we tone it down, we're just converting. And when we're converting, we're just multiplying through. Ayush, I know you were talking about some functions. Is this similar to what you were doing?
So first, yes. Wait, you started with a compute function. So I made a class of functions just to keep my code like organized.
Okay.
And then I made like a function def day underscore hour, and then I set like hour equal to day times 24, and then I made one for hour to minute, and then I made one for minute to second, and I have to just figure out how to like change it to calls.
If you share your code with us, we can actually we can just not fix that, but add
Yeah,
that.
I'm actually working on my MacBook that I got from the library. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so and I'm doing my class on my iPad, so then I have to like type it out, and I'm too lazy to do that.
Okay.
That's an interesting. Ayush, that's awesome that you're looking at classes. That's something we're going to talk about this Wednesday. Actually, how we can create functions within classes. So that's a good way to start us off already. But I'll definitely allude to that this Wednesday. That's awesome they're trying that. So let us know if you have success and if you need any help. But the main thing is this, guys. Today was the first day, sort of going back onto this track of sort of independence, learning how we can do problems on our own. Started off basic today. Main thing is just taking it one word at a time, looking at what the problem is asking and simplifying it down, breaking into steps, doable steps, and then making
And
progress.
also, just a question: are we gonna like continue this like next time, or are we going to do something different next time?
So it's going to be a different problem, but similar idea of us sort of building our own confidence and learning to do problems ourselves. Do you guys enjoy this format? It's sort of, we want to help you guys. You know, we've done a lot together. Alrighty, well, more to come on that. But other than that, guys, that takes us till the end for this week's algorithm programming, week 1. Although it's not week 1, it's week 16. So week 1 of starting to build our own skills and finishing out this month of May strong in the language of Python. For this summer, we got a bunch more fun stuff to come about. Other than that, guys, remember this Wednesday, we got project development. And then on Friday, we got a video gaming hour. Our schedule for the summer months will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, Avanish. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, guys, take care. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Yes.
All right.
Bye.